Hiragana.
Hi everyone and welcome to the first of 2 lessons on Yōon sounds. So far we have learned the 46 characters in Hiragana and the sounds of these characters. We then learned how we use DAKUTEN and HANDAKUTEN to form voiced and half-voiced sounds, CHOUON and HANDAKUTEN. Now over the next 4 lessons, we're going to learn how we combine certain characters in Hiragana to change the pronunciation of certain sounds. And first, we're going to learn about Yōon. And the basic concept of Yōon is that we can combine a character in the I column from one of these 7 rows, as well as these rows in CHOUON and HANDAKUTEN, with one of the characters in the Y row and form a new sound. For example, we can combine ki and ya and form kya, ki and yu and form kyu, and ki and yo and form kyo. And although we're combining ki and one of the sounds from the Y row, the I sound in ki is dropped. So we just say kya, kyu, kyo. Now in writing, when we combine these characters together, the character from the Y row is written in small writing to indicate this combination of sounds. So when you use the writing worksheet, you will get to practice writing ya, yu, yo in small writing to indicate this Yōon sound. Lastly, when we combine characters to form Yōon sounds, the combined forms are regarded as forming one syllable. And this concept is really important because Japanese is spoken in rhythms of syllables. And as we will learn over the next few lessons, although Yōon sounds are regarded as a single syllable, certain other combinations of Hiragana are not regarded as one syllable. So this distinction is very important. The technical term for this syllable in Japanese is mora. So Japanese language is referred to as mora time language. And as you continue to learn Japanese and learn how to pronounce Japanese words, we will revisit this concept of mora again in the future. Okay, so in this lesson, we'll first practice forming Yōon sounds by combining characters in the gojuon table with Y row characters. And then we'll practice forming Yōon sounds with CHOUON and HANDAKUTEN in the next lesson. So let's go straight into practice of saying Yōon sounds.
Hiragana.
Kya, kyu, kyo. Kya, kya, kyu, kyu, kyo. Kyo, kya, shu, sho. Kya, kya, shu, shu, sho. 쇼, 차, 슈, 쇼, 차, 차, 슈, 슈, 쇼, 쇼, 냐, 뉴, 뇨, 냐, 냐, 뉴, 뉴, 뇨, 뇨, 차, 슈, 쇼, 차, 차, 슈, 슈, 쇼, 쇼, 냐, 뮤, 묘, 냐, 냐, 뮤, 뮤, 묘, 묘, 랴, 류, 료, 랴, 랴, 류, りりょりょ
We'll do a listen and repeat practice of all three sounds from each row.
きゃきゅきょしゃしゅしょちゃちゅちょにゃにゅにょひゃひゅひょみゃみゅみょりゃりゅりょ
The final practice in this lesson is on reading words that use these Yōon combinations. Now, there are a lot of combinations to think about, so to make this practice a little easier, we'll leave these characters on the screen. In this lesson, we will go over how we form Yōon sounds by combining DAKUTEN and HANDAKUTEN with ya, you, and yo. Now, forming Yōon sounds with DAKUTEN and HANDAKUTEN characters is the same as what we learned in the previous lesson. So we combine the character in the I column with one of the three characters from the Y row. So the combined characters are pronounced as following.
やゆよじゃじゅじょじゃじゅじょぴゃぴゅぴょぴゃぴゅぴょ
Now, one important point to note is that Yōon sounds from the D row are hardly ever used in modern Japanese. So if a word has these Yōon sounds, that word will most likely use the Yōon combination from the Z row. So do keep that in mind. Okay, so let's move on and practice reading these characters.
やゆよややゆゆよよじゃじゅじょじゃ じゃ、じゅ、じゅ、じょ、じょ、じゃ、じゅ、じょ、じゃ、じゃ、じゅ、じゅ、じょ、じょ、や、びゅ、びょ、や、や、びゅ、びゅ、びょ、びょ、ぴゃ、ぴゅ、ぴょ、ぴゃ、ぴゃ、ぴゅ、ぴゅ、ぴょ、ぴょ、
Now, although yawn sounds in D row are not common in Japanese, they are still sounds that exist in Japanese language. So we'll still practice reading yawn sounds from the D row. Let's first do a listen and repeat practice of all three sounds from each row.
や、ゆ、よ、じゃ、じゅ、じょ、じゃ、じゅ、じょ、ぴゃ、びゅ、びょ、 pya, pyu, pyo.
That was great, well done. In this lesson, we're going to learn another kind of character combination called SOKUON. SOKUON is formed by adding the character tsu. When we add the character tsu, it's written in small writing on the bottom left corner, similar to the Y row characters in Yōon. Same as before, please use the writing worksheet to practice writing this small tsu. Let's listen to two words. The two words are written in a similar way, but the second word will have this small tsu to indicate SOKUON.
웃다, 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 웃다.
So the first word is read 웃다, 웃다, but the second word is read 웃다, 웃다. When we add the character tsu in the word, we form an extra consonant of the character that comes after tsu. In the second word, the final character is ta, so by adding tsu, we effectively create an extra t in the word. For this reason, SOKUON is often referred to as double consonant. And the technical term for this extra consonant is geminate consonant. And what this basically means is that we pronounce the consonant sound a bit longer. So it's not just 웃다, but it's 웃다, 웃다. Now this small tsu is only added before characters from K, S, T, or P row. So when we add the small tsu before characters from these rows, the consonant sound of K, S, T, or P is pronounced longer. And because of this extra lengthening of the consonant sound, the small tsu is regarded as an individual mora, an individual syllable sound. Listen to the following example words and listen carefully to how the consonant sound after the small tsu is pronounced longer.
갖고, 갖고, 맞쓰구, 맞쓰구, 기대, 기대, 기쁘, 기쁘.
So as you could hear in each word, the sound of the consonant after the small tsu is longer. Now, one thing to note is that small tsu to indicate SOKUON sound cannot begin a word, but it can appear at the end of a word. And when it does, the sound becomes a glottal stop. So it's the sound of ut, ut. However, this use of SOKUON is less common, and it's generally used to indicate the speaker's surprise or anger. Okay, so let's now move on and practice reading words that have SOKUON sounds. Hello and welcome to the lesson on learning CHOUON. CHOUON refers to long vowel sounds in Japanese. And in Japanese, we can form long vowel sounds by adding one of the characters from the A row in Gojuon table after a character that ends in the same vowel sound. Here's an example.
お母さん、お母さん。
In this word, the second character is ka. And if we add the character a after, rather than reading the two characters as ka-a, we basically extend the vowel sound a. So it's
お母さん、
when we write this long vowel sound in Romaji, we write this dash above the vowel letter to indicate this long vowel sound. Now, to read this long vowel sound, there are various rules we need to be aware of. First, we can create the long ah sound by adding ah after other characters that end in ah sound. A good example is the word we saw earlier for mother.
お母さん、
Second, we can create the long e sound by adding e after other characters that also end in e sound. A good example is the word for grandfather.
おじいさん、
One thing to note with this pattern is that sometimes the Romaji writing for this long vowel sound is indicated by writing the E, rather than the dash above the vowel letter. Third, we can create the long U sound by adding U after other characters that also end in U sound. A good example is the word for cucumber.
きゅうり、
And as you can see in this example, the long vowel sounds can also be created with Yōon combinations. Fourth, we can create the long air sound by adding air after other characters that also end in air sound. A good example is the word for older sister.
お姉さん
However, making long air sound by adding air is actually not that common, and it's actually more common to form the long air sound by adding e. A good example is the word for a teacher.
先生
The final character is e, but this character is not pronounced, and instead we pronounce the vowel sound in se as a long vowel sound. So it's
先生
Lastly, we can create the long or sound by adding or after other characters that end in or sound. A good example is the word for big.
大きい
However, similar to the long air sound, making long or sound by adding or is actually uncommon, and it's more common to form the long or sound by adding u. A good example is the word for thank you in Japanese.
ありがと
The final character in this word is u, but this character is not pronounced, and instead we pronounce the vowel sound in to as a long vowel sound. So again, it's
うありがと
Okay, so with all that in mind, let's now practice reading words with long vowel sounds. In this practice, we will practice reading words that have long vowel sounds. So again, similar to the practice in the previous lesson, this practice is not about recognizing the characters, but just practice saying Japanese words with long vowel sounds. We'll do 2 practices, and the first is on words we have seen so far in this lesson. Let's begin.
うお母さんおじいさんきゅうりお姉さん先生大きいありがとう
That was excellent. Well done.